was about 6 inches of wood, like sawdust and long strips on the floor. I figured I better clean it up. Some of it's in buckets. Some of it became fences. Some of it became a kid fort. Lots of it went on to gardens. Replenished the poo-poo machine sawdust. And the rest is getting burned. And when this is done, I'll take the charcoal from here and put it on some gardens too. Like I did with yesterday's burn area. Sure is nice down here now. You know, it's kind of like a basement, but it's not damp or anything. Oh, there's some water on the floor over there, because the only places water still comes in are the uncovered windows, and the weather usually blows this way, so a little bit comes in there and there. But it dries up real fast. This morning this was like out to here, and it's dried up already. I got my tools organized. Deshana said I could have between these two spokes for tools. You know, I'm building this house for her, so she gets dibs on everything. Oh, I still need to concrete the other half of this ground floor. Yes. It still blows me away that this floor hasn't cracked, like at all. There isn't a single crack in the whole thing. If you told me like 2 months ago that this floor, which is like that thick with no reinforcement or anything, wouldn't crack in the first 2 months, I would have been like, yeah, I know it's gonna crack. You don't have to get all sarcastic with me. It's like someone made it with magic, or maybe just love. I guess I need to plane the second floor. Yeah, I can do that today. Oh, hours and hours of that. Better go get my bulldozer. Can't do any planing without my bulldozer. Want to see a Panama tropical storm? Looks like the wind's dying down. It is nice and dry in here. Oh, cool house. Less than 5 minutes later. Look at that. Blue skies are coming back. That's happened twice already today. And both times I had to run outside and grab my inverter, which is sitting on the bulldozer, because that's where it gets the electricity, and bring it in so it didn't get wet. So I guess maybe I'll go plug it back in and continue planing. I'm about 2/3 of the way down the floor down here. Started at this end. All this stuff is like a shag carpet, just made out of wood. All right, all cleaned up. I haven't done the floor under those boards yet. I think I'm just gonna wait till I use those, because it's not like I have to set up a huge operation to do the floor. I just need to take my thing and then sweep up all the bits. So, water collection. I need to set up water in this joint. So I need a big water tank somewhere, and some way for rain to get into it. Yeah. Alright, water tank. I need to build a water tank. And I want to build one, I don't want to buy one. I'm thinking, just off the top of my head, I want to build a concrete peanut butter jar that's giant. A giant concrete peanut butter jar. So, you know, probably flat bottom, cylinder, and some kind of lid. But big. maybe 5 feet across by, I don't know, several feet tall. As tall as me, I'm 6 feet tall-ish. All right, the first thing, I want to build the concrete thing, and then I'm thinking to take a rope and wrap it around the whole thing to, hold it together. So it'll be kind of the same kind of construction as this building I'm in, but with different forces on it. So the building I'm in is dome-shaped, like kind of parabolic, so it all leans on itself, catenary shaped. And since it's all leaning in, all the forces are in compression, which works great with concrete, because concrete has super high compressive strength. Its tensile strength isn't quite as good. So the water inside this tank will be pushing out, so I want to take rope and wrap it around. Like, put it around, make it really tight, just put a bunch of rope bands around it to hold it in. So now I need to think, what is the actual pressure inside that thing? Like, is this doable? I think it's doable. Well, let me figure it out. What's the PSI? Why are we using pounds per square inch? Whatever, I have a decent grasp of PSI, so I'll calculate it with that. All right, to calculate the PSI of the water inside the tank, it's actually pretty easy to do. People get confused by volumes of water when calculating the pressure, but all you have to worry about is the height of the water. Because like if you have a swimming pool or you have a tube, if they're the same height, they have the same water pressure at the bottom, even though the swimming pool has much more water. The swimming pool is just like having a whole bunch of those tubes beside each other. So to figure out the pressure at the bottom of the tank, where it'll have the most pressure, I need to take a 1-inch cross section, since it's pounds per square inch, PSI, take a 1-inch cross section and extend that the height of the water, and then figure out the weight of that. Now, okay, so we got 1 inch by 1 inch by, I'll calculate for 10 feet. I'm sure I'm not going to make it over 10 feet. It's probably going to be less. So let's calculate for 10 feet. I don't have a good grasp on how much 1 inch by 1 inch by 10 feet of water weighs. So let me shrink it in the height and just spread it out, put it into a shape that I can kind of understand a little better. So let's make it 1 foot tall, and that means I need to have a 10-inch square cross section at the bottom. So it's roughly like a 4-inch PVC pipe. Okay, so like a 4-inch PVC pipe, 1 foot tall. That does not weigh that much. What's it like? 10 pounds maybe? Something like that? I don't think it's even 10 pounds. But I'm just going to use that as my rough order of magnitude estimate. So I'm going to have like 10 psi at the bottom of this tank. Is that right? I think I did that right. At least it'll be under 10 psi. So that's really not that much pressure. I mean, the concrete could probably hold it just on its own. Of course, I don't want to rely on that, so I do want to put the bands around. But yeah, I'm not going to have to make them, it's not going to be that hard to get them tight enough to hold in 10 psi. Yeah, I think this is totally doable. Now I just need to figure out how to make this stupid thing. Alright, the bottom of the thing is easy. It's just a circle on the ground. I need to get some solid hard ground and barf out a bunch of cement or concrete into a circle shape. So maybe I'll just go do that first and then figure out the details of making the walls go up.